last time we defeated a spider boss, and then she escaped. And I totally forgot to read this. Oh wait, no I didn't. I did read that. Why is it marked again? I got... What the heck? Weird. Weird. Okay, well, anyway. We need to continue our way up to the top.
We are no rush.
Okay.
That place!
Oh my gosh. Do you mind, like, actually picking... Oh, never mind. Oh dear.
Protect the temple! Stay vigilant!
My gosh. For real. considerable chance to take a step without consuming cord uses. Could be useful.
Die.
I'd rather not. What the heck are you?
Who brought malice? Thing, be gone!
I just want...
The ascension calls for sacrifice of flesh and bones.
Okay. Okay. So that wasn't a boss then. Really? Oh. Or wait. I think this is a dead end. So, yeah, no, that's not anything. I wanted to find a shrine that I could use because I assumed this thing up here was a boss. But, it seems I was mistaken about that. Yeah. Okay. Nice. No. What the heck? Where am I supposed to be going, actually?
Wait. Yeah, this is where I came from. I'm freaking lost, dude. So we can't go back down there. And we can, but there's no point. Once again, it just goes back down there. So that literally just leaves this way. That's the way that we just came up. That's dead end. Okay, we came up this way. Can't go that way.
Ooh? Okay. Here's something. Okay, I was gonna say, if that pops out, that makes no physical sense.
Who goes there?
You sounded like an NPC, my dude.
Protect the temple.
Fruit of Tao, using the gourd moderately extend. I wasn't trying to switch anything. Moderately extends the duration of invincibility upon executing a dodge for a short duration. Speaking of... Um... Relics. Why? Is it because I don't have enough points? Hmm. Well. I'm just gonna assume we don't have enough points.
Subduing, huh? Dive for the practice demands. And
Lovely. Why did I not rest? Well... So we have a couple enemies over there. Okay, so we have a path up that way. There's gotta be a reason, right?
get ready!
Hmm. Wait, how do I... How do you activate these? So I don't get it. How? I know I've done it before, but I assume... I mean, obviously I've done it before. I assume I must just need more sparks or something. I was only able to do one before, and I would like to be able to do more than that. What?
Immortal's Guide. Rising low. Spreading wings. Perching rooster. Tiger's pounce.
Lovely.
Tail swing. Pecking swallow. Fight.
Okay, I need to, or wait. No, I don't. Somehow I'm almost fully recovered. I should be able to maybe do something. But my goodness, this is a lot of enemies.
Evil Vanisher. Subduing our heart. Die for the moon. After my life. Good.
Oh, Beetle Commander, huh? How far will Beetle Commander chase me? Okay. That's just way too many. So if I can...
subduing our heart. Dive for the moon. Monkey paying tribute.
I'd rather die. There's no way out. No more delays! Come close and finish me! Come, end my life! I'd rather die. There's no way out. There's no leaving this cave. Please, end me. No!
Shoot. I mean, you know, if you didn't try so hard, I could make it happen quite easily, I think. Okay.
Immortal sky. Subduing our hearts. Dive for the moon. Monkey paying tribute. Seek your emergence. perching rooster. Tiger's pounce. Petting snake.
Rather die.
Shoot.
What a bird.
I'm really trying to take care of that for you, dude. I really am.
Try.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, yep. Run away! Oh.
Subduing our heart. Hi. Dive for the moon. Monkey nutrition. After my life. Good.
Bye-bye.
I'd rather die. No more delays! Come close and finish it! I'd rather die. Ow! I'd rather die.
I am free.
Well, that would have happened earlier if you hadn't fought back. Just saying. Anyway. Tablet of the Three Supremes. Considerably increases critical hit chance when health is low. Okay. You look like Bowser or something. So we have that whole thing there. And this whole thing here.
The evil reaches. Our wrath awaits.
Oh, you gotta be kidding. Okay. I suspect that's the intended direction. So let's see what this is about. Really? Okay, let's... Okay... Oh my gosh! I hate these things' movement. I hate it. Oh my gosh, you wanna... I hate their movement. This just grosses me out. No! You piece of crap! You actual piece of crap. How did you recover that quickly? I thought he'd be down for a little bit. Okay. Snake Sheriff. Yeah, I still can't set any of these. It's not under self-advance either.
Knowing the joy within the play, why chase the notes astray? Love and passion are as fleeting as the clouds. In the end, they leave nothing but cobwebs and dust. A broken mirror cannot be made whole again, my friend. Tell Master Pig, if you will, that attachments are not to be dwelt upon. Immortal once from above. For love, she strayed, in her webbed prison. Through mortal years, she stayed. Immortal one, in her webbed prison.
Huh.
mortal in her web.
Alright. Alright, let's so spells, no. 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 Hmm. Well. Hmm.
Intruder! Be at the ready!
Okay. There's something in there. Yeah, there's that house back there. This is starting to feel like a definite way forward. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. This is stressing me out. Okay, that's definitely a boss fight. Okay, before we tackle these directions, let's look at that house that we passed by.
Gather up!
Okay. Oh my gosh. This is literally...
Please. You must save me.
So, both my trap and my vessel failed. But how?
When I saw him, I just couldn't. The Destined One then arrived and bested me. Now the monkey has ransacked our hollow.
A mere monkey showing such disrespect. Your wound was recovering. But now it's getting worse. Fear not, I'll deal with him. But before that, that thing of mine, do you still have it?
I do.
Very well. Despite all your failures, you led the Destined One here. I should reward you for that. But the thing I gave you, now I must have it back!
I really didn't think we'd be fighting an end boss here.
You girls are far too young to comprehend my design. This, along with those relics inside him, shall free me of Kunlun's reign.
Kunlun.
Rest assured, darling, I'll avenge you. Now let go of your misery and rest in peace. I might as well walk it alone. Are your minds as muddled as your mother's? Love your mother, not join her in death. And you! My plan is undone because of you. Pay it with your life! On your way! Indifference otherwise to mold people of any souls.
really wasn't expecting to come across a major boss here. I thought, hey, I should probably avoid going towards the top of the mountain because, you know, I don't want to run into the main boss here, you know. Okay, so that's a main boss. Ooh. Really? Who are you?
Stop! Spare his life! Foul monkey! No matter how many times you reincarnate, you're still blind to the ways of this world. Now, in your folly, you've hindered the dealings of the court. But above that, you've given a girl who knows no limits a false hope. I shall transform her into a mighty golden pill and keep it safe for you. Think about her, won't you? Should you feel like stirring trouble in your next life?
What? No, no, no. Oh my goodness, stop. Stop getting on top of the table. Cool. Well, I don't know what that's all about.
Die!
Okay. I did think that this was gonna... Okay. one more gold tree core. Well, I have to say I wasn't expecting that boss. We can take some more stabs at that next time. I do need to end this episode though, so let's read our journal entries. Sword Taoist. Every 10 years, the Temple of Yellow Flowers opens its door to recruit disciples. One day, a newly admitted young Taoist discovered that the disciples focused on innate practice were divided into 3 different groups based on their skills. One group used staffs, another used fly whisks, and the third used swords. The young Taoist observed them closely and noticed that the disciples who used staffs and fly whisks were also responsible for various chores around the temple and had less favorable living conditions. In contrast, the disciples who used swords only needed to focus on their training, and they were even privileged to receive daily guidance from the master. The young Taoist secretly consulted the senior disciples and found out that the sword disciples were also the quickest to achieve enlightenment and ascension. However, becoming a disciple of the sword group was no easy task. It required passing a rigorous examination by the master, and only those deemed to have the highest potential were given the opportunity. The young Taoist visited each senior disciple, noting down the questions the master had asked them in the past, and made thorough preparations. Eventually, he succeeded in his endeavor, winning first place. The master personally tied his hair into a top knot and bestowed upon him a sword. From the moment he joined the sword group, he woke up early every day to train under the supervision of Beetle Commander. In the afternoon, he strengthened his chi under the master's guidance. Though the life was monotonous and arduous, he was very content. After more than a decade of rigorous cultivation, the disciples of Sword Group finally earned their master's approval. The master informed them that their skills were now proficient enough for them to enter the mountains for secluded meditation. If they were fortunate enough, they could achieve their ascension. In Petalfall Hamlet lived a Taoist. He had taken his vows last and was the youngest, and thus the Grandmaster doted on him. He too was glad to wait on the Grandmaster at all times. If the Grandmaster extended a hand, he served tea. If the Grandmaster lifted a foot, he removed his shoe. He swatted flies, fanned the breeze, made the bed, and tidied the covers. Quick and thorough in his duties, the Grandmaster favored him greatly. His fellow disciples burned with jealousy, but they couldn't stoop to such fawning. They could only speak ill of him behind his back and bully him to vent their ire. One day the Grandmaster held a test to assess his disciples' learning. When it was the turn of the youngest, he decided to be lenient with him. He only asked him to recite a passage from the scripture of Tao Te Ching. The young disciple put on a smug face and chanted in a loud, clear voice. The Tao produced 1, 1, produced 2, 2, produced 3, 3, produced all things. The other disciples had long awaited this moment, and their wish was finally granted. They roared with laughter and even stole glances at the Grandmaster to see his reaction. The Grandmaster, furious, stormed off in a huff. The other disciples then warned the young one, "You've committed a grave blunder and incited his anger today. Don't dream of learning any solid skills from him now." After that incident, the Grandmaster shunned the youngest disciple, but then he found he had no one to wait on him properly. Over time, he reminisced about the young disciple's attentiveness. Before long, the disciple was summoned to serve him again, but when he saw the disciple's disinterest in Taoist learning, his aversion returned. One day, the young disciple implored the Grandmaster to teach him some skills, and the Grandmaster took the fly-swatting fan-waving motion the boy did each day and made them into a set of moves. Who knew if it was meant as sarcasm? In the end, he taught the boy those moves and wind-wielding techniques, and that was all the boy could hope for. I mean, it's pretty good. They're more dangerous than the sword dudes. Long ago, a mountain village sat on a ridge teeming with insects. Strange things kept happening, so the villagers all moved out, leaving it a deserted village. In the village below lived a young man. His mother had died, and his father was a poor wastrel who paid him no mind. The villagers looked down on him and often abused him. He couldn't endure such disdain, so he fled to live in the abandoned village. Little did he know that the village was claimed by a swarm of insect guys. As soon as the young man reached the ridge, the Yaguais seized him. He didn't fight back, as a deep-rooted death wish stemming from a life without attachments had long infested his heart. Seeing his resignation, the insects didn't harm him. Instead, they provided him shelter in a dilapidated shack. That night, a middle-aged Taoist brought him food and clothing. I heard you have nowhere to go, so I brought you some things for daily use. If you don't mind, take me as your master and stay here. I can teach you practices for ascension. The youth hadn't been cared for in so long, he eagerly donned the Taoist robe and performed the rites to acknowledge his master. From then on, he lived and trained with the insect guys. They spent their days dining and walking together, and at night they slept side by side. One day, a scholar barged into the young man's room. I've just escaped from the Yaguai's lair. They had me trapped in a cocoon sack, and I'm unsure of their intentions. Oh, okay. I'm fleeing this place. You're human. You should come with me. The young man shook his head. I'm content here. Why should I leave? The scholar grew angry. Because they're Yaguais and you're human. Even if they don't harm you, staying with them is long enough will turn you into a Yaguai as well. You're right, the young man said as he grabbed his staff and knocked the scholar to the ground. But even if I turn into a Yaguai, I'll do so gladly. The scholar deemed the young man was past saving. Gritting his teeth against the pain, he crawled out the door and fled alone. Snake Herbalist. In the old days, there was a Taoist temple at the foot of Purple Cloud Mountain. An ascetic Taoist nun, worn from her long travels, sought shelter there one night. The temple nuns, moved by her devotion, offered her hot water and fresh clothes. As she bathed, the nun heard a sound from the rafters. Without showing any sign of alarm, she put on her robe and nonchalantly picked up her fly whisk. With a gentle flick, the whisk stretched and coiled with her motion, snaking up to the rafters and seizing a Yaguai. Alerted by the commotion, the temple nuns rushed into the room to investigate. On the ground crouched the snake guai with green scales, unfazed by its capture. It seemed the nuns had been its prior victims, now taking turns to scold it. The snake guai looked at them with contempt and puffed out its cheeks to spew green venom in every direction. Anyone struck by even a drop collapsed at once, writhing in pain. As the guai had no response, the nun took out a wispy golden needle, prepared to destroy it. Only then did the snake show fear. It pleaded at once. I'm just a lesser herbalist guai from the mountain. In my basket outside is the antidote for them. Please, will you spare my life, immortal lady? Hearing its sincere plea, the nun granted it mercy. The guai rummaged in its basket and handed her some small white pellets. These are the leaves of the pearl tree. They're rare in the mortal world and can cure all venoms. It fed one to each Taoist nun and they recovered at once. After that, the temple always had tree pearls on hand, and many afflicted by venom came here to seek aid, but the high cost of a tree pearl meant many, unable to afford it, had to face the toxin's fatal outcome. Oh my gosh. Snake Sheriff. In the mountains there was a tiger with a strong desire for the Tao. He traveled across high mountains and great rivers seeking a Taoist temple to practice. However, his Taoist affinity was thin, and he couldn't find a master willing to accept him until he reached the Web Ridge, hoping to become a disciple under an accomplished immortal. At first, the immortal master disdained him for being a mere tiger, unlike his other disciples, and refused to meet him. The tiger knelt outside the mountain gate for several days without rising. The immortal master, sensing his sincerity, gave him a chance and accepted him as an outer disciple. Unexpectedly, the tiger had no steadfastness. After the initial fervor, he didn't put in the effort. The immortal master advised him, one's practice relies on oneself, not the master. But the tiger couldn't grasp this and was punished to guard the mountain at the Forest of Ferocity. Feeling resentful, the tiger became even lazier, spending his days lying idly under a tree and cursing his master to pass the time. One day, while half asleep under the tree, complaining about his master, he suddenly heard a soft sigh and felt something slip into his mouth. Startled, he sat up, and there was no one around. He retched for a long time, but couldn't expel anything, thinking it was just a dream. After some time, the tiger's neck became long and thin, and he could no longer speak. He diligently patrolled the Forest of Ferocity every day. People whispered among themselves. He started his Taoist practice with enthusiasm, but ended poorly. The master must have punished him, which is why he looks like this now. From now on, we'd best be careful. Worm Practitioner. The disciples who practiced swordsmanship in the temple had been training under their master for a long time. Since joining the group, they had all harbored the wish to attain ascension, diligently practicing their skills with great perseverance. One day, the master finally informed his disciples that after years of rigorous training, their skills had become proficient. He told them that they could now follow him into the mountains for secluded meditation. If they were fortunate, they might achieve ascension and become immortals. The disciples were overjoyed and eagerly packed their belongings to follow their master into the mountains. The master led them using a teleportation technique to a breathtakingly beautiful mountain. The mountain was rustling golden leaves, presenting a scene of crisp, refreshing autumn weather. In the mountain's peak there was a hamlet where they set down their belongings. The master then led them along a path behind the hamlet to the summit. There, they saw a strand of silk hanging in the air with one end suspended in the mountain mist and the other reaching high into the clouds, destination unknown. The master said, "This is the celestial ladder to the immortal kingdom. Hundreds of years ago, your senior brother ascended to immortality from this very spot." With that, he handed each of them a peculiar object of violet color and said, "This is a pill to aid your ascension. Quickly, my disciples, consume it." The disciples, filled with excitement, immediately swallowed the larva-like objects. A few hesitated, only to see a terrifying and disgusting scene. The disciples taking the pills had transformed into flat-headed, fleshy worms. Horrified, they questioned their master, shaking. The master shook his head and sighed. "When the opportunity arises, your courage fails, which makes you unfit to become immortals." Before his side ended, the disciples who had transformed into worms lunged at them. Beetle Commander. A young man from the village of Shaded Heights served at the country. What? Oh. A young man from the village of Shaded Heights served at the county yamen, running errands for the local government. The magistrate despised him and hindered his advances at every turn. One day, the magistrate learned of a Yaogwai haunting the village of Longshi. He sent the young man to investigate alone and hoped he'd never return. Aware of the magistrate's ill intent, the young man accepted the task without hesitation. He chose not to beg for his life in this. As he entered the desolate, eerie village, he was overcome with regret. But as night fell and without knowledge of the mountain paths, he had no choice but to stay. He found a less dilapidated house with intact eaves, barred all doors and windows, and lit a lamp to steel himself for a long night, planning to depart at first light. Fear gripped him at midnight, so he practiced his swordplay to calm his nerves. After a while, a deep voice arose from the darkness above the rafters. "I am a Yaogwai of this ridge. I meant to kill you, but with your fine swordsmanship and the official blade, you must be a yamen runner, yes?" The young man was startled, but needed to voice his woes. He shared his ordeal with the Yaogwai and drew sighs of empathy. The Yaogwai said, "I too was once an imperial guard, but a treacherous court official cursed me into a beetle to scrape by in these hills. I long for death, but I still wish to pass on my sword skills to someone worthy. Now, if you're willing to learn my skills, I offer to teach you." The young man dared not to refuse. As he agreed, a beetle over 3 meters tall descended from the shadows. Its neck bore a thick carapace like a general's helm. The beetle wielded twin blades with a steadfast and forceful style that suited the young man's disposition. Overjoyed, the young man practiced with the beetle by the fading lamplight till dawn. As they parted ways, the beetle said kindly, "The world these days is full of those lacking talent and virtue ascending through flattery. Why tangle with them and sully yourself? Aim higher. A man should carve his own path." With a hearty laugh, the beetle left. This encounter changed the young man. He resigned from his position at the Yamen and enlisted in the border armies. His superb swordsmanship elevated him to the rank of general. Leading the troops against foreign foes, he won victory after victory and became a famed commander. Crane Immortal. The newly appointed Donster originally served in the Hall of Incense. Now promoted, he had his first opportunity to tour the Celestial Palace. As he exited the Celestial Palace, he was met by the Crane Immortal, who first took him to the Celestial Gate to be introduced to the captains of the court on duty and the 4 heavenly kings. They then visited the 33 halls and the 72 palaces, paying respect to everyone along the way. The celestial beings treated them with utmost courtesy, which greatly pleased the newly appointed constellation officer. After the tour, the Crane Immortal was about to personally escort the Dawnstar back to the Palace of Illumination. On the way back, the Dawnstar suddenly asked, "I wonder if my predecessor was promoted or demoted. Could you enlighten me so I may know how to conduct myself in the future?" The Crane Immortal smiled and said, "He mingled too closely with the mortal realm, perhaps making some friends among the mountains and wilds. Now, having shed his celestial bonds, who can say where he revels in his newfound freedom?" The constellation officer frowned and asked, "I heard that the Dome of Stars conducts roll calls daily. How could it be that the constellation officer left without anyone knowing?" The Crane Immortal gently smoothed the wrinkles on the Dawnstar's robe and said somberly, "If he hadn't left quietly, how would you be here now?" Hearing this, the Dawnstar seemed to understand and did not pursue the matter further. Cool. Alright, well, still no way to... Still no way to... I don't get it. I mean, lingering aroma's good, but I do want the others as well, so I don't know. Well, that's gonna have to do it for today. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.